Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geelan for SYS-CON TV here at 5th Cloud Expo in New York City. I'm with Eric Maas from Lighthouse Security Group, and this man is a fount of insight and information, so don't even think of going anywhere else on the web except listening to Eric when I ask him, Eric, security, cloud, it's an oxymoron.
Some people would say so. Actually, it's probably the foundation of what's going to make cloud work at the end. All right, so we're.
I like that. So flip the whole thing. It's actually the solution and not the problem.
That's correct. If you think about, IT assets in general, IT assets and people, and what they have access to, and how that ecosystem evolves, is what's going to tie the cloud together. It's going to be the foundation of why cloud actually works in the end of the day, right? We've got to get the right people provisioned to the right systems, get access, entitlements to the right systems, make people feel comfortable with the idea of pushing IT systems and business logic out into these components and corners of cyberspace.
Didn't I tell you? Cloud optimism. But best thing, cloud optimism anchored in reality. I mean, you seem to know about this. So what does Lighthouse do? What's your niche? Who are your customers?
We are an identity and access management provider in the cloud, right? So we're concerned about the life cycle of identities. We're concerned about getting provisioning of identities and entitlements to the right assets, including cloud assets as well too. So organizations that are concerned about how they adopt Salesforce.com and Google applications and Amazon EC2, and how they push applications out there while keeping control of those applications are our types of customers. So really any vertical, right? Any vertical, who's adopting cloud technology.
And I mean, I was going to ask you what the pain points are, but I don't think they would want to suffer any pain points. So they must have to be educated in advance. Don't just leap in. If you're going this route, you need to have attended to these issues. So are you still evangelizing like crazy around the issue?
Absolutely, it's an education process. We're definitely on the cusp of cloud computing. This isn't a matured area yet inside of IT, and we often look at it as a house, right? We're building the foundation at this point, and building in security into the foundation is a lesson learned that we've had from yesteryear inside of IT. Not to try and bolt on security after the house is already built, right?
Bake it in.
Bake it in.
But I mean, the fact that you're succeeding suggests nonetheless perhaps there are people maybe trying to bypass that step. Startups maybe, I don't know, I'm just guessing.
Startups everywhere, from small organizations who see a return on investment by getting into the cloud. They see that there's going to be a lower cost of ownership, much more agility to being able to deploy applications very quickly, not have to worry about the infrastructure, the commodity portion of it that they don't want to own. It's outside of their core competencies. But that type of ROI has resonated all the way down from the startups and small organizations all the way up to multi-billion-dollar corporations who have now said, times are tough. The economy is forcing us to look at IT in a new way, and cloud computing is going to be the answer for how we become lean and mean, right? We have certain IT assets that make us who we are as a business, but we've got others, specifically, in areas such as identity and access management, that don't make us any better of a company than our competitors. And we've got to find a way to outsource that commodity, and the cloud is the place to do that.
And does your customers, Eric, do they reflect that same spectrum all the way from, the minnows to the absolute super giant?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have organizations that are, companies with less than 100 employees, and we've got organizations with hundreds of thousands of employees who are actually leveraging our technology today to outsource and push their identity and access management burden into the cloud.
So tell us about Lighthouse. I mean, when did this start? Pre-cloud, I'm assuming. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been master of all this technology.
Yeah, absolutely. We are an IBM business partner. We're one of IBM's premier business partners, so we work very closely with IBM's technology, moving matured, proven technology in the security space into the cloud. So we're not trying to reinvent what already works. We're taking what's worked very well for on-premise systems for security and repurposing it into the cloud. Our background is kind of stemmed or bred out of the military space. We have extensive experience inside of the Department of Defense and building out private cloud computing systems around security that we're now repurposing once again into the commercial space, kind of trickling that military-bred technology into the commercial space to allow small organizations to leverage what was once only available to, organizations that could afford hundreds of millions of dollars in R&D to make this stuff work.
You're very passionate about this. It's like become like a public service or one arm of it. I'm sure it's also a business model, but it's very engaging to have somebody taking something like identity management and being able to sort of cerebrate about it.
Absolutely, yeah. We truly believe that building that house, starting from the bottom, starting from identity management, building on top with access management, federation capabilities, a house built well will stand the test of time, and that's going to be, as I mentioned before, it's going to be what makes the cloud actually functional, what makes organizations, CISOs, have faith and put trust inside of putting their business applications out there.
So if you're a business guy and you don't want your house to fall down, you need to be taking a look at Eric and his team. What do we go to? What domain name for Lighthouse?
DiscoverLighthouseGateway.com.
Oh, I like that. DiscoverLighthouseGateway.com. That's at least easy to find, if it's not easy to say. Thank you so much, Eric Maas, for joining us at 5th Cloud Expo. We have to continue the Lighthouse story when we're on the West Coast, because it sounds to me like it's a very good mirror of what's going on in cloud computing, always to talk about the security piece.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you then, Eric, and thank you for following this out there on the World Wide Web.